What's up, bitches? I made it! My skin is ass. I am tired, but I finished my last final at NYU and I am officially done with my first semester. So, in honor of that, what better thing to do in my summer vacation than to slap on some makeup and talk shit about my semester. I won't talk shit, but I will talk about my experiences. I'll section this video into 3 different parts. One will be my semester, one will be my professors, and one will be my overall NYU experience. Because as someone who is not from New York and I've never been to NYU, I think that it'd be interesting to see what my experiences was. So we'll first talk about my semester. I didn't know that you were able to opt out of classes that you could have already pre-qualified for. My first semester was all core classes, which I wish that someone had told me not to do that, because A, realistically speaking, I could have opted out of 4 out of the 5 classes that I took, and B, I'm looking at the classes that are available for next semester and they're mainly all core classes as well. So I could have just taken some fun classes along with some core classes. I wouldn't be saving money, but I would have been making more out of my degree. So I'm a little bit peeved about that, because even though I did get a scholarship for this first semester, that was still a lot of money. Like, that was my money that I paid for. And I wish that the academic advisor had been a little bit more thorough with my education background. It's her job to advise me about my education degree progress. And it's not my fault that I didn't know what these classes meant. And I wasn't able to know until maybe a month in that I could have opted out of those classes. Week 7, I was fucking stressed because all my assignments were due at the same time. Said it lightly, they say, so that it stays. Though I don't know if it works, I'm just gonna follow it. My other video, I was saying that it was my fault that I took 5 classes in the beginning. And I half stand by it, half not. Half stand by it because it's like, I took those 5 classes and it was good for me to take 5 classes in the beginning, because my finals was like a freaking breeze. I had way more time. But if I was to be smart about it, I should have done 4 classes throughout the whole semester. But my finals week looked kind of crazy. I had 1 midterm on Monday that was open book, 1 midterm on Tuesday which was not open book. I had a final on Wednesday and a final project due, and the final was not open book. And then I had a final project presentation on Thursday and a resubmission of an assignment that Thursday as well for the same class. And then for Friday I had a midterm presentation. I didn't like it at all. That was the worst. If I was to rate my semester experience in terms of how difficult it was, I would say maybe 8 out of 10. Front loading my first 7 weeks, and I got to relax my last 7 weeks. All right, browser on, and now I will be talking about my professors. The way that I'm gonna be talking about them is I'll be naming them professors A through A, B, C, D, E, A through E. Okay. I'll be naming them A through E, and I will not be talking about them in the order that I've taken them, the professor that I like the least, all the way up to the professor that I like the best. Brown gel that shit up. Boop, boop, boop. The first professor that I'm going to be talking about is Professor A. He was very engaging, and the subject of his classes was very interesting. It was something that I've been wanting to learn for a while, so it was interesting to see him as an industry professional speak about his experiences. The class was very interesting because the project was also very useful to use if you're in the real world. This professor had us read books for the class, but the books that he provided for us was basically like books for dummies, but they were very condescending. It was like listening to an arrogant know-it-all at a party where he's talking about his experiences. I wasn't a huge fan of the books. There were 3 of them that we had to read. I ordered them off Amazon. I read them really quick, wrote annotated notes on them, and then I returned them because I was not going to be spending money on the books that he assigned for us. Personally, that's the way that I perceive the books, so I wasn't a huge fan. Let's go for a pink look. I'm going to be going through the Fem Rosa Colourpop. I don't know what look I'm going to go for, so we shall see. The project that we did was throughout the whole semester, and we would be giving check-ins of like what the project was going to be. And the first check-in, we were saying this is our project, and some people went ahead and made like a really nice presentation of what their project was going to be about. They made like a whole PowerPoint with very lovely graphics. They put an effort to make their check-in look nice because there was no real guideline of what he wanted for these check-ins. So then we just assumed that this is what he wanted, and he literally shit on the first two presentations. So I was the second presentation and we presented, and he goes, I don't like that you guys went way too far ahead in what you guys are doing. You guys are frankly too far ahead in the process and blah 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 blah. But the thing is that you didn't give us a clear guideline of what you wanted, and then you're going to scold us for exceeding your expectations. So our group was pissed, and the other three groups saw that we got shitted on in the middle of class, and they went to the bare bones. This is what we're doing, A, B, C, D. That's all that they did, and they got praised for that. He was like, this is exactly what I wanted, this is what I like, and you guys aren't going too ahead of yourselves. I really like this project, blah blah blah. The first two groups were like, okay, like shit, my bad. And the next part I didn't like was that this professor is an industry professional, and he definitely has things in his portfolio that his company is doing that we can use as real world examples. However, he only used his company as the real world examples, and what he would do is pull up the documents, redacting all the important information, and then he would read word for word what the document says. And I'm just sitting there in class like, I can read the whole document for multiple classes. As a professor, I would rate him a 7 out of 10, and the class I would rate a 7 out of 10 as well, because I would have liked to watch real world examples from other companies. Like, this company did this, what do you guys think about this? There were so many times in the class where he would say, my company is going to be hosting this event, what do you think about this aspect? And we would have to give commentary on it because he's waiting for us to, you know, respond. And I'm just here like, are we your like personal focus group? That's not super professional, because it's an upcoming event that he has and he's asking for our input, and he's going to be using our input in his event. And so I felt like it wasn't fair to be putting such a personal event into your curriculum, because you spent this time to create this event, and so if we were to contradict it, you would be defensive about it. The second professor is Professor B. I think that he was a very nice professor. They're all very nice, honestly. I thought it was going to be very complicated because the title was very complicated. However, the class was not complicated. And I would say that I didn't need to take this class because of my work experience. But then again, this goes back to my advisor. I thought that she would do it in my best interest about which classes I should take and which classes I should not take. And I shouldn't have to take this class because my work experience fulfilled what I had done in this class. The professor himself, he took forever to grade his assignment because he oversimplified the lecture, so I underestimated the homework. That was my fault. I should have been more on top of it, but I digress. If anything, I wish that he had cut out one of the assignments and given us more time to work on the other assignments. And this might have been user error, but in his midterm review, he said that he was going through over these concepts. So I studied the concepts, you know, and then the actual questions would be like so specific. I would rate this class a 6 out of 10, but the professor, I would rate him a 7 out of 10. Moving on. Professor C. This professor is the type of person who sounds the same. He's the type of person who sounds the same when he makes a joke as when he's being serious. So he's like that type of person who's can't ever tell if he's joking or not. I thought this class was okay. This class is like a middle tier class where I was like, yeah, this is fine. I also felt like I could have opted out of this class because I've taken classes in my undergraduate degree at Davis. The topics of this class have already been gone over. The positive of this professor was that he's a very knowledgeable professor and he followed his syllabus to the T. Like, that was his holy Bible. The things I didn't like about this class was that he would give us instructions very simply. I want this paper this way. But when a student would ask him a follow-up question, so you want it this way, then he would respond with, yeah, that would be good if you put it that way. So it was very ambiguous whenever he would give us instruction, because we were just like, is this what he wants? I literally don't know. You know, I don't know if I do this right. I don't do my makeup often, so please don't judge me. It was that, plus the material was not particularly stimulating, but it was a core class, which means it needed to be done. I am doing this wrong. Whatever. So I would rate this class an 8 out of 10, and I would rate the professor 7 out of 10 maybe. Moving on, Professor D. This also was a class that I felt like I didn't need to take. However, the professor was very charismatic. He was very enthusiastic about his subject, which I loved. I loved that he was very enthusiastic about it. Lost my tweezers, but whatever. He made this class so freaking easy that the only reason I don't get an A is because I fucked up, where I did not pay attention to my deadlines. The problem I didn't like about this class was that the textbook was really long, but you need to have curriculum for your class, and that was just like a necessary evil that I had to battle. Maybe next time I do my makeup, I'll try to do a very natural look, because this look is not me at all. I don't even know why I'm going so freaking big. I'm just gonna go on a walk with my mom later. So this class I would say is an 8 out of 10, and the professor I would say is a 9 out of 10, because he really did his best to make us feel excited about the material. He had a lot of guest speakers, which I really appreciated, and a lot of them gave so much great knowledge, and they really are a great part to hear from. So I really appreciated that part of his course. Last but not least, my favorite professor. This was the one class that I felt I knew nothing in, and that was okay, because he was gonna teach us all that we needed to freaking know for this class. He was extremely engaging. He really had a fun time, and he had the funniest idiosyncrasy of like word spacing. So when people say like or they're really giving a chance for their brain to catch up to whatever they were talking about, and his word spacing was so funny. I thought it was adorable. I'm doing the jelly donut because it's pinkish with that goes with it. Oh, it doesn't jelly anymore. Oh god, I'm scared. Okay, whatever. Oh, that's too much. Oh, that's too much. Mimi, stop. God, I look like early 2010. Oh no. Oh no. There's too much highlighter. Do you see it?
Yeah.
You can definitely see it in the camera too. I look like 2010. Wait, you can diffuse it. Why am I freaking out? It's my sister. She just came home from work. Hi. God damn it. Everyone needs to shush outside so I can finish filming. This is not about you. This is about me. This professor is my favorite professor because he was very engaging. He did a lot of exercises in class that I felt was very relevant to the topic at hand. My only negative would be like the class was too short. It was one of those 7-week classes. You know what I could do since I don't have foundation on? No one's gonna know. No one's gonna know. How would they know? I wish the class was a little longer. I would give this class a 10 out of 10. I would give the professor a 10 out of 10. He's my favorite professor and I really enjoyed that class. So now that I've talked about all my professors, and let me just... Oh, I didn't do a highlight for my nose. Boopa schmoopas. Boop, boop, boop. Should I just leave it like this? Oh, that's real cute. I've talked about how I was disappointed in having to take the classes that I felt I didn't need to take because my undergraduate degree had addressed those prerequisites in the core classes, and I talked about which professors I liked the least and which professors I liked the most. And now I'm going to talk about my NYU experience. I really wanted to make the most out of it, and I went to as many conferences as I could. I networked with as many people as I could. I put myself out there, and I really asked people for advice because I am still trying to figure myself out. I came into this degree thinking I want to only do corporate events and that would be fine as long as I can find a job there. However, right now I'm in a weddings internship, and it's very interesting to see the wedding side of things. I never would have thought. And I'm also thinking about maybe like a lifestyle director type of route in terms of events, or I can think about restaurants. Talking to so many industry professionals really opened my mind and opened up my options. I don't have to only think about corporate. I don't only have to think about weddings. So it was really interesting to hear their perspectives and understand that I'm just starting out in my career and there's really no wrong answers. There's no box that I really have to put myself in. And I was a part of a mentorship program where my mentor was able to give me insights of what it means to be a corporate planner, what it means to get speakers for vendors or things like that. And that was really interesting to understand. Another contact that I met with, out of the kindness of her heart, became my mentor, asked me so many engaging questions about what do I want to be when I go into the workforce, what kind of events do I want to do. And I really appreciate all the insight that she's been able to give me, because she got to draw out so much more out of me than just I want to do corporate events. And I really appreciate her time. I hope that when I go over to New York, I'll be able to buy her a coffee, because I cannot wait to meet her in person and to talk to her, because she's been such a kind person to me. I love my NYU experience. The conferences that I've been to, the people that I've met, and my classmates, they were all so nice to me, and I felt very confident to be able to say that I will become an event planner. I felt very confident in my skills in the classroom. I felt like I was able to interact with the professors well, and I felt like I was able to really make the most out of my first semester, although I was remote. Next semester, everyone's going to be in person. What I kind of want is the college undergrad experience where after class we'll go and grab some coffee, grab some boba, grab some food. I want to be able to know my classmates on a more deeper level, and I hope that I will be able to. So I'm really excited. The NYU experience, I'm gonna rate it chef's kiss, 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed my experience and I really had a good time. Now I know better from now on to ask about what this class is about and ask whether or not I can opt in or opt out. So that is my review of my first semester at NYU as a master's in event management. I'm assuming that I'm going to be doing these for all the semesters that I have in class, because then I look really cute. I got to dish out some things I didn't like about my classes, and I got to talk about things I did like, and this was a lot of fun. So I'm going to bring you up closer and you get to see how cute my face looks. Okay, bye. I don't know what it is. In Davis, the amount of credits the class is worth is the amount of time in lecture. So a 4-unit class would equal 4 hours of lecture. And apparently for Jackie's school, the units equal how much work you're putting into the semester. So it's 3 units means you're going to be putting in X amount of work. But for NYU, 3 units means that it's all semester versus 1.5 units, which means that it's only 7 weeks, which I don't really understand. But New York University is New York University, and who am I to question it? I'm just a little plebeian just existing for a bit. So whatever, I guess.